I'm Alina, 26 years old, and I've been living in Germany for the past 3 years. I moved here from a small town in Poland, chasing a dream I wasn't entirely sure of at the time. I work as a marketing specialist in Berlin, a city that's as vibrant as it is unpredictable. My job keeps me on my toes. It's creative and challenging, with tight deadlines and a need for constant innovation. I love it, though. It's the kind of job that allows me to express myself, while also pushing me to grow. My days usually start early, around 6 a.m. I'm an early riser, and I like to take my time in the morning. I have a skincare routine that I religiously follow: cleanser, toner, serum, moisturizer, and sunscreen. I believe in taking care of my skin. It's like a ritual that prepares me for the day. My favorite part of the routine is applying a rose-scented serum that feels luxurious against my skin, a small indulgence that reminds me to take care of myself. After skincare, I make myself a hearty breakfast, usually something traditional like German rye bread with avocado, and eggs or muesli with fresh berries and yogurt. Breakfast is important to me. It's a quiet time when I can gather my thoughts before diving into the chaos of the day. Sometimes I'll have a cup of strong black coffee or a frothy cappuccino, depending on my mood. Once I'm at work, the day speeds up. My office is a blend of old-world charm and modern efficiency, situated in an old building with high ceilings and large windows. The team I work with is diverse and dynamic. We come from different parts of the world, each bringing a unique perspective to our projects. The conversations we have, both work-related and personal, are some of the highlights of my day. I'm good at my job, but I've always had bigger dreams. I want to eventually start my own marketing agency, something that I can build from the ground up. The idea of creating something of my own excites me, though it also scares me. I worry about failing, about not being good enough, but I try not to let those fears control me. Instead, I channel them into motivation. In the evenings, I often meet up with friends. My closest friends here, Arcadia, a fellow expat from Russia, and Martin, a German engineer I met at a language exchange event, they're like my family in this city, people I can trust, laugh with, and share my deepest thoughts. We have this tradition of meeting every Friday at a little cafe in Prenzlauer Berg, where we chat about our week, our struggles, and our hopes for the future. Speaking of the future, I have a secret crush on Martin. It's something I've kept to myself for the longest time, unsure of how to act on it. Martin is sweet, thoughtful, and always there when I need him, but I'm terrified of ruining our friendship. I've caught myself daydreaming about what it would be like to kiss him, to feel his arms around me, but then I push those thoughts away. I'm afraid of rejection, of losing someone who means so much to me. My first kiss happened back in Poland with my high school boyfriend, but it was nothing like what I imagined kissing Martin would be like. There's a chemistry between us, a tension that's almost palpable when we're together, and yet neither of us has crossed that line. Sometimes I wonder if he feels the same way, but then I convince myself that it's just wishful thinking. My life isn't all about work and unspoken feelings, though. I also have my passions: travel, photography, and exploring the rich cultural tapestry that Germany offers. I love visiting museums, especially the ones in Berlin that showcase contemporary art. There's something about getting lost in a piece of art that resonates with me. It's like stepping into someone else's world, even if just for a moment. German culture has its quirks, and I've embraced many of them. I've developed a taste for sauerkraut and bratwurst, and I've even picked up a bit of the language, though my German is far from perfect. The German people are reserved but warm once you get to know them, and I've learned to appreciate the structure and efficiency that defines their way of life. My neighbors are an interesting bunch. There's Frau Müller, an elderly woman who lives next door. She's the quintessential German grandmother, always baking something delicious and offering me slices of homemade cake whenever I pass by. Then there's Lucas, a musician who lives upstairs. He plays the violin beautifully, and sometimes when he practices, I'll sit by my window just to listen. His music has a way of calming my mind, especially on days when I feel overwhelmed. Despite all this, life in Germany isn't always easy. I've had my fair share of challenges, moments when I felt lonely, missing my family back in Poland. My parents are supportive, but they don't fully understand my life here. They worry about me being so far away, and sometimes their concern feels like a weight I carry with me. Family drama has been a constant in my life, even from afar. My younger sister, Anya, is going through a rough patch, dealing with a messy breakup and struggling to find her path. I try to be there for her, offering advice and a listening ear, but it's hard when all I want is to hug her and tell her that everything will be okay. Emotional turmoil is something I've become familiar with. There are days when the weight of my decisions, my dreams, and my fears all come crashing down, and I question everything. Am I doing the right thing? Should I go back home? Should I tell Martin how I feel? These thoughts swirl in my mind, creating a storm that's hard to weather. But then there are also moments of clarity when I remind myself of why I came here in the first place, to build a life that I can be proud of, to chase my dreams, no matter how big or scary they might be. I've learned to embrace the uncertainty, to take things one day at a time, and to find joy in the little things, like a cup of tea on a rainy afternoon or a walk through the vibrant streets of Berlin. My desires are simple yet profound. I want to love and be loved, to find a place where I truly belong, and to create something meaningful with my life. I dream of one day owning a cozy apartment in Berlin, filled with plants and books and art. I want to travel more, to see the world and experience everything it has to offer. And yes, I want to find the courage to tell Martin how I feel, even if it means risking our friendship. In terms of fears, they're the usual: failure, loneliness, the unknown. But I've also learned that fear is a part of life, something that can't be avoided but can be managed. I try to face my fears head on, even when it's hard, and to remind myself that I'm stronger than I think. My life in Germany has been a roller coaster of emotions, experiences, and growth. I've learned so much about myself, about what I want, and about what I'm capable of. It hasn't always been easy, but it's been worth it. I'm proud of the woman I'm becoming, even if I'm still a work in progress. As for Martin, well, who knows what the future holds? Maybe one day I'll find the courage to tell him how I feel, and maybe, just maybe, he'll feel the same way. Until then, I'll keep living my life, chasing my dreams, and embracing every moment, because that's what life is all about, isn't it? Life in Germany has taught me so much about who I am and what I want. One of the things I've come to love is how music can shift my mood. I have this playlist that I listen to every morning as I get ready for work. It's a mix of upbeat pop songs and soulful ballads, music that makes me feel alive and ready to face the day. My favorite song right now is a German track called Start by Cassandra Steen. It's about longing and finding your place in the world, which resonates with me deeply. Speaking of longing, there's a film I watched recently that left a deep impact on me. It's called Run, Lola, Run, a German movie that's as intense as it is thought-provoking. The way the movie plays with time and destiny made me think about my own choices and how each decision I make shapes my life in ways I might not even realize. On weekends, when I'm not catching up on work or hanging out with friends, I love to explore Berlin's neighborhoods. Kreisberg is one of my favorites. It's this vibrant, multicultural area with street art on every corner and food from all over the world. I often spend hours wandering around, discovering new cafes and bookstores. There's this one little bookstore tucked away in a side street that I adore. It's filled with secondhand books, the kind that smell of old paper and have notes scribbled in the margins. I found some real treasures there, books that have become part of my personal journey. German cuisine has become a big part of my life. I've grown to love dishes like schnitzel and Kässpätzle, and I even tried my hand at making them at home. Cooking has become something of a passion for me, a way to unwind and create something with my own hands. My favorite dish to make is Rouladen, a traditional German dish made with beef rolled around pickles, onions, and bacon. It's rich and flavorful, and every time I make it, I feel a little more connected to this country that I now call home. There's something about the German way of life that's both comforting and challenging. The people here value efficiency and punctuality, and I've had to adapt to that. But I've also learned to appreciate the importance they place on work-life balance. Sundays are sacred here. Everything shuts down and people spend time with their families or go for long walks in nature. It's a stark contrast to the hustle and bustle of weekdays, and it's a reminder to slow down and breathe. Nature is another thing I've fallen in love with. Germany is beautiful with its rolling hills, dense forests, and serene lakes. Whenever I need to clear my head, I take a trip to the countryside. There's a small town called Batzero, not too far from Berlin, where I often go to relax. It's known for its thermal baths, and soaking in those warm, mineral-rich waters feels like washing away all the stress and worries of city life. But not everything is perfect. I still struggle with the language at times, especially when dealing with bureaucracy. The German legal system and its paperwork can be daunting, and I've had my fair share of misunderstandings. There was this one time I completely misinterpreted a letter from the Finanzamt, tax office, and ended up in a bit of a panic, thinking I owed a huge amount in back taxes. Thankfully, a kind colleague helped me sort it out, but it was a lesson in how much I still had to learn. Even with these challenges, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything. My life here, with all its ups and downs, is something I'm deeply proud of. I'm carving out a place for myself in this vast, sometimes intimidating world, and each day brings new opportunities to grow and learn. My dreams continue to evolve too. Lately, I've been thinking about starting a blog or a YouTube channel to document my experiences as an expat. I want to share my story, the good and the bad, with others who might be considering a similar journey. I imagine it would be a space where I can connect with people from all over the world, exchange stories, and offer advice on navigating life in a foreign country. There's also the question of love. I still think about Martin often, and our friendship remains strong, but I've decided that I can't keep these feelings bottled up forever. I'm working up the courage to tell him how I feel, to lay it all out there and see what happens. It's terrifying, but I know that if I don't take the risk, I'll always wonder what could have been. In the meantime, I'm focusing on myself, on becoming the best version of me. I've started a new skincare routine that's more about self-care than beauty. I light candles in the evening, meditate for a few minutes, and write in a journal before bed. These small rituals help me stay grounded even when life feels overwhelming. And then there's my family. I've had to learn how to navigate the distance, how to stay close to them even when we're miles apart. We talk on the phone regularly, and I try to visit Poland whenever I can. My relationship with my sister Anya has grown stronger despite the challenges she's facing. We're each other's confidants, and even though I can't be there in person as much as I'd like, we've found ways to support each other from afar. Germany has become a part of me, just as I've become a part of it. The language, the culture, the people, they've all shaped who I am today. I'm no longer the girl who arrived here 3 years ago, unsure of what the future held. I'm a woman who has faced her fears, embraced new experiences, and found a place where she belongs. And while the journey is far from over, I'm excited to see where it takes me next. Living in Germany has also introduced me to the concept of minimalism, which has profoundly changed how I approach my life. Before moving here, I was someone who loved to accumulate things, clothes, books, souvenirs. But in Berlin, I've adopted a more minimalist lifestyle, inspired by the simplicity and functionality that German culture often embraces. I've learned to value quality over quantity, investing in items that are durable and meaningful rather than just trendy. My apartment reflects this shift. It's a small but cozy space, filled with only the things that bring me joy or serve a purpose. I've carefully chosen each piece of furniture, from the sleek Scandinavian-style sofa to the wooden dining table that doubles as my workspace. My walls are adorned with art prints I've collected from various galleries around Berlin, each piece telling a story of where I've been and what I've experienced. One of my favorite things to do at home is to cook and experiment with recipes from different cultures. Berlin is a melting pot of cuisines, and this diversity has inspired me to expand my culinary skills. I've dabbled in making everything from Italian pasta dishes to Moroccan tagines. Recently, I've been obsessed with baking traditional German cakes like Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, Black Forest cake, and Apfelstrudel. There's something incredibly satisfying about creating these desserts from scratch, especially when I share them with friends beyond my personal space. I've grown to appreciate the German appreciation for nature. Germans have a deep respect for the environment, and it's reflected in their everyday lives. Recycling is a norm here, and the country's commitment to green energy is something I admire. I've become more conscious of my environmental footprint, reducing waste, using public transport, and even biking around the city when the weather permits. Cycling in Berlin is a joy. The city is well equipped with bike lanes, and there's a sense of freedom that comes with pedaling through its vibrant streets. German seasons are something else I've grown to love. Each one has its charm. Winter can be harsh with its cold winds and early nights, but it's also a time for cozying up indoors with a good book and a cup of glühwein. I love the Christmas markets that pop up all over the city, with their twinkling lights, festive decorations, and the smell of roasted chestnuts in the air. Spring is a time of renewal. The city bursts into color as flowers bloom and trees turn green. I often take long walks through Tiergarten, Berlin's largest park, where I can lose myself in nature away from the hustle and bustle of the city. It's also the season when I start planning my little balcony garden. I grow herbs like basil, mint, and thyme, and there's something so fulfilling about using fresh herbs I've grown myself in my cooking. Summer in Berlin is vibrant and lively. The city comes alive with outdoor festivals, open-air cinemas, and street food markets. I spend my weekends exploring these events, trying new foods and dancing to live music under the stars. There's a lake just outside the city called Müggelsee, where I go swimming and sunbathing with friends. Those days, filled with laughter and the warmth of the sun, are some of my most cherished memories. Autumn, though, is my favorite season. There's something magical about the way the leaves turn golden and the air becomes crisp. I love wrapping myself in a cozy scarf and going for walks along the river, watching the city slowly transition into winter. It's also the time when I indulge in hearty German comfort foods like Kartoffelsuppe and Sauerbraten. My journey here in Germany has also made me more mindful of my mental health. Living in a foreign country, away from family and old friends, can be isolating at times. I've had to learn how to take care of my mental well-being, especially during those long winter months when the darkness seems never-ending. Meditation has become a daily practice for me, helping me to stay grounded and focused. I've also started journaling regularly, writing down my thoughts, dreams, and fears. It's a therapeutic process that helps me sort through my emotions and gain clarity. I've joined a yoga class, which has become a sanctuary for me. The studio is in a quiet part of the city with large windows that let in natural light. The practice not only strengthens my body, but also calms my mind. It's a space where I can let go of stress and reconnect with myself. The instructor often ends the class with a short meditation, and those few moments of stillness have become incredibly precious to me. In terms of my career, I've taken on new challenges that push me out of my comfort zone. I recently led a major marketing campaign for an international client, something that required me to step up and take charge in ways I hadn't before. It was nerve-wracking, but also exhilarating. The success of the campaign boosted my confidence and made me realize that I'm capable of much more than I sometimes give myself credit for. Looking ahead, I'm excited about what the future holds. I'm considering pursuing further education, perhaps a master's degree in digital marketing. Berlin is home to some excellent universities, and the idea of going back to school in this city is thrilling. It would be a chance to deepen my knowledge, meet new people, and perhaps even find new directions for my career. But it's not all about work and study. I'm also allowing myself to dream about the possibilities in my personal life. I've started to imagine what it would be like to settle down here, to build a life with someone special, maybe even start a family. The idea of raising children in this city, with its rich history, culture, and opportunities, is something that fills me with hope. Then there's the matter of travel. Germany's central location in Europe makes it an ideal base for exploring other countries. I've already visited France, the Netherlands, and Italy, but there's so much more I want to see. I dream of taking a long trip through Scandinavia, exploring the fjords of Norway, the design capital of Copenhagen, and the wild beauty of Iceland. Traveling has always been a passion of mine, and living here has only fueled that wanderlust. As I continue to build my life in Germany, I'm constantly reminded of how far I've come and how much more there is to discover. This country has shaped me in ways I never expected, teaching me about resilience, independence, and the importance of following my heart. And while the future remains uncertain, I'm ready to embrace whatever comes my way, knowing that each new experience, each new chapter will only add to the richness of my journey.